What we just witnessed might be the greatest Game 7 in World Series history. And if you're a baseball fan, you need to understand the magnitude of what the Los Angeles Dodgers just accomplished. Before we get into the insanity of this game, do me a favor and drop a like, hit subscribe, because what I'm about to break down is pure championship baseball at its absolute finest. The Dodgers just won back-to-back World Series titles by defeating the Toronto Blue Jays in an 11-inning thriller that had everything. Clutch home runs, legendary pitching performances, and moments that will be replayed for decades. Stay with me because we're breaking down every single element of what made this Game 7 so special and why this Dodgers dynasty is just getting started. Let's start with the obvious. Yoshinobu Yamamoto just put together one of the most incredible pitching performances in postseason history. This man pitched a complete game in Game 6 through 96 pitches and then came back the very next day in Game 7 to throw 2 2/3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Think about that for a second. A starting pitcher throwing nearly 100 pitches one day, then coming back less than 24 hours later to close out a World Series. That's not just impressive, that's legendary. That's the kind of performance people will be talking about 50 years from now. Yamamoto became only the fourth pitcher in baseball history to win both Game 6 and Game 7 of a World Series. The last pitcher to do that, Randy Johnson in 2001 against the Yankees, that's the kind of company we're talking about here. He won 3 games total in this World Series, earning him World Series MVP honors, and honestly, it wasn't even close. His command was perfect, his velocity never dropped, his composure under pressure was unmatched. Doug Glenville said it perfectly when he called Yamamoto's performance next level, but then said you actually have to go higher than that. This was mastery at the highest stage. But this game wasn't just about Yamamoto. Will Smith hit the go-ahead home run in the top of the 11th inning to give the Dodgers the lead, and he did it with a broken hand that still hasn't fully healed. That's the kind of guts and determination that defines championship teams. Smith has been underrated all season, carrying this offense at times while everyone focuses on Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. But in the biggest moment of the season, with everything on the line, Will Smith delivered. That home run put the Dodgers up, and Yamamoto slammed the door shut. Then there's Miguel Rojas, who tied the game in the 9th inning with a home run that saved the Dodgers season. That homer made Rojas just the second player in Major League Baseball history, along with Bill Mazereski, to hit either a game-tying or game-winning home run in Game 7 of a World Series. This is the same Miguel Rojas who made 4 incredible defensive plays in Game 6 to keep the Dodgers alive. His name is now forever linked with Will Smith and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in Dodgers championship lore. Let's talk about the context of this series, because Tim Kurkjian, who's covered 44 World Series in his career, called this the greatest World Series he's ever covered. Game 3 went 18 innings, one of the most unbelievable games anyone has ever seen. The 9th inning of Game 6 had drama that nobody's witnessed before, and now Game 7 goes to extra innings with everything on the line. This series had 6 extra inning games. 6. That's baseball at its absolute peak. 2 evenly matched teams battling it out with everything they have. The Blue Jays played incredibly well throughout this series. They were the 4th team ever to lead in the 9th inning or later of a winner-take-all World Series game and lose. That's heartbreaking for Toronto, but it shows just how close this series was. The Blue Jays pushed the Dodgers to the absolute limit, and honestly, Eddie Perez said it best when he mentioned that Toronto was actually the better team throughout most of this series. But the Dodgers had championship mettle. They had the ability to deliver in the biggest moments. That's what separates dynasties from good teams. Dave Roberts managed this series brilliantly. He pushed his starting pitchers in ways he never had before, leaning on them to eat innings and limit bullpen usage. This was a complete reversal from last year's championship run, where the Dodgers relied heavily on their bullpen. This year, they went out and signed closers Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates, paying big money for elite relievers. Neither one made the roster for Game 7. Instead, Roberts trusted his starters to become their own relievers, and that strategy won them a championship. Roberts' message to his team throughout this series was simple. Keep believing in each other. No one panicked. No one wavered. When their backs were against the wall, they stayed confident. That's championship culture. That's what the best organizations build over years of success. And now the Dodgers have back-to-back titles, something only one other team has accomplished in the last 25 years. That's dynasty territory. That's legendary status. Shohei Ohtani's postseason performance deserves recognition even though he didn't win MVP. Game 3 of this World Series was one of the most remarkable individual performances ever. He reached base all 9 times he batted.
2 doubles, 2 home runs, and 5 walks, 4 of them intentional with nobody on base. Teams were so terrified of pitching to him that they intentionally walked him with the bases empty. That's unprecedented.
Tim Kirkjian said watching Ohtani is like watching the greatest player we've ever seen. And honestly, it's hard to argue against that. What makes this Dodgers championship run even more impressive is how they built this roster. They signed Shohei Ohtani in free agency, deferred a massive portion of his salary to create financial flexibility, then used Ohtani to help recruit Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Then they added Roki Sasaki. This is strategic roster construction at the highest level. Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers front office continue to operate at a level other teams simply can't match. They identify talent, they develop talent, they make smart financial decisions, and they win championships. The cultural shift within this organization is remarkable. Last year, they won with bullpen dominance. This year, they won with starting pitching depth. Next year, when Ohtani returns to the mound as a pitcher, they'll have even more weapons. The adaptability of this team, the ability to win in different ways depending on what the roster demands, that's what makes them special. Dave Roberts manages egos brilliantly. He has a roster full of superstars, and somehow he keeps everyone pulling in the same direction. That's not easy, but it's essential for sustained success. The Dodgers started their season in Tokyo, the first time Major League Baseball has ever opened a season in Japan. They ended their season in Toronto, winning a World Series in another country. The journey this team went on was unprecedented. Everyone thought their path would be easy because of their star power and financial resources, but it wasn't easy at all. They struggled at times. Toronto was the better team for stretches of this series, but the Dodgers delivered in the big moments. Miguel Rojas in the 9th, Will Smith in the 11th, Yamamoto closing it out. Those are championship plays. This is now a legitimate dynasty. Back-to-back championships with a core that's still in its prime. Ohtani returning to pitch next season. A farm system that continues producing talent, financial flexibility to add pieces when needed, and a front office that consistently makes the right decisions. The rest of baseball should be terrified because the Dodgers aren't slowing down. They're just getting started. This isn't a flash-in-the-pan success story. This is sustained excellence at the highest level. So here's what I want to know from all of you. Where does this World Series rank among the greatest you've ever watched? How dominant can this Dodgers dynasty become over the next 5 years? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear from everyone. And before you go, smash that like button and hit subscribe so we can keep growing this community of baseball fans who appreciate championship-level content. This is the kind of baseball that reminds you why October is the greatest month in sports. Let's celebrate what we just witnessed.